Good morning. It is Tuesday, May 26th, and this is RED-C Roundup. I'm your host for one more day, Megan Silas, and I have the privilege of having Pam Marvin here today as co-host and the unexpected pleasure of having Judy Como sit in this morning as well. So welcome to you both, ladies. Instead of an interview today, we're going to be discussing some current events in the second half of the show, so hope you'll stay tuned for that. We are live, and we would love to hear from you at any time during the show. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, you can feel free to call us. The number here is
85-LOVE-RED-C, 855-683-7332.
That is correct, Pam. Or if you'd like to text, you can text us at 979-255-2633. So would love to hear from any of y'all today. I am so happy to see the sun out this morning. It's been wild and crazy for a bit here.
I said, hello, blue sky. Where have you been?
Is that what that is?
Yes. Yeah, the other day I was like, there's this strange yellow orb in the sky. I'm not sure what it is. But, you know, Judy, both you and I posted yesterday some pictures of the sky last evening. It was crazy beautiful, wasn't it? I mean, it went from this dark, just gloomy, stormy situation to all of a sudden this orange, ethereal almost glow.
Yeah, well, I have a little more horizon than a lot of y'all do because we live out in the country, and my husband and my brother are obsessed with the weather. Of course, we own a landscaping business, so we're very interested in what's going on, and I heard my brother's truck crank up, so he had to go check the rain gauge, 2 3/4 inches at our house. And so we're all walking around slapping mosquitoes because they're terrible with all of that. And all of a sudden, boom, the sun pops out right at the horizon, and had to hit those. My rainbow picture was not good, but
I didn't have a rainbow on mine, but it was just so beautiful. And
yeah, I enjoyed the social media on Instagram. My feed had like several people taking pictures of the sun that came out. Paul even asked me, come outside and see this. And I'm like, he said, this is the sun. I'm like, that's not the sun. That's just weird. He said, what do you think it is? I said, is it a fire? It just seems so unreal.
Sure
yeah, it's cool. I don't know. Every time I see something like in the heavens like that are so beautiful, and I just be like, come Lord Jesus, let this be the time. It's so awesome and
no
beautiful.
Trumpet, trumpet.
Yeah. Speaking of trumpets, actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because over the weekend I was, just on the internet, and I noticed that there is this link to this story about how there have been these noises that people have been hearing. It's been going on since the first time was recorded in 2008, but it's happened more increasingly in the last couple of years. These strange sounds in the sky or in various places. It's places in Canada and the United States and Australia and Belgium where they sound like trumpets, like loud trumpets.
Wow.
And it's weird.
I always thought it was my beginner French horn player, but it sounded more like someone blowing their nose, actually. I love you, Ann, but I'm sorry.
Well, no, but you should check it out on YouTube because it's really funky. Like you hear it and it sounds like this heavenly choir, like trumpet choir warming up. So, some people have said, oh, well, maybe those are the trumpets.
So what do you YouTube? You just YouTube it or what?
Yeah,
I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah, you can YouTube it. There's a video on YouTube that has a bunch of clips of different ones.
But you say trumpet sound from the heavens or what?
Yeah. Strange trumpet sounds or something
Megan's
like
imagination.
that.
No,
it's not my imagination. I saw it. It's for sure. It just really sounds cool. And so...
That's pretty cool.
It is cool. So anyway, beautiful evening last night and beautiful morning today. And so, Dennis, what have you been up to? How was your weekend? It's Pentecost weekend. I mean, there's got to be some Holy Spirit stories.
Had a good weekend. We actually took the kids camping for the first time. I'm kind of ashamed to say this in probably a decade, but
yeah, you picked a great weekend.
Well, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Marshy, but we only went one night, and we went with it was 7 cousins and me. So basically, I had some daughters and sons and nieces and nephews there, and we went out to Lake Conroe and just camped out in the forest right next to the lake. It was pretty marshy, but enough bug spray, I guess. The DEET won't kill us, the mosquitoes will, but Yet to be determined if we had brushed up against poison ivy. I'm reading that it takes a couple of weeks maybe to
Oh, well, not
10
really.
days. No?
No, not that fast.
So after 3 days, I'd
24.
be knowing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think
I'd
so,
be
don't
okay.
you?
Well, even if,
Yeah, if you're allergic to
interestingly,
it.
you have to be allergic to it. Even if you did brush up against it, if you are not allergic to it, it will not give you a problem.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So
All
where did you
right.
take him? Where'd you take him?
Lake Conroe, just north of the west fork of the lake. We followed Cameron, their cousin. I keep wanting to call him their nephew. My nephew, Cameron, and Corey brought our kids and Rachel, who is here in town, camping.
Pam,
Well-
didn't you go camping too?
We did. We went out to actually Lake Somerville in Yegua Park, and it was beautiful. The water was full. Couldn't get on the river, but oh my God, or the river, excuse me, the lake. But it was really magnificent because it was just real. The water was so placid. It was just gorgeous.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a good weekend. How about yours, Megan?
Well, it was actually pretty low key. Didn't really do that much, but I have to say, Pentecost it's a huge feast for me. Like I really
Likewise.
look forward to it. And when I first came into the church, I credit to the Holy Spirit's inspiration at Pentecost for bringing me here to the radio station. And so this year, lots of changes and. So, it was great to be there. And it was one of those masses where, how sometimes, obviously you're more engaged at different times than others, right? And so this is one of those masses where, after receiving the Eucharist, I was so in my space with him, and like you lose track of what's going on. And then the next thing you know, you've, open your eyes and realize, oh, they've put everything away now. You know what I mean? Like, and you're just, and then they start talking and you have to stand and you just wish it weren't over.
Right.
So
right.
there.
Yeah.
Sometimes as a pastoral musician, you have that little bitty window of Thanksgiving before it's time to stand up and start singing again.
Yeah.
And at St. Anthony's at 5:00 Mass, Father Craig DeYoung was there. He's on vacation and told us that his first Mass as a priest was Pentecost last year.
That's awesome.
And so for him to be there and just because he's on vacation, he came to St. Anthony's and said Mass there. So it was amazing.
Well, I know that y'all at St. Anthony's had a big announcement this weekend.
We
So
did.
why don't you and Dennis talk about that a little bit?
She passes the mic to me. Yes, we had kind of a sad announcement that was made. We somewhat expected it because Father Patrick has been with St. Anthony's Catholic Church for 7 years now. And we understand that 6 years is the typical time that Bishop Vasquez likes to keep a priest typically in one parish. So we are grateful to have this extra year. But yes, he did make the announcement that he was reassigned to Copper's Cove. Holy Family Catholic Church in Copper's Cove. And we will be getting Father Joseph from LaGrange. And so he'll be coming in at the end of June toward the beginning of July.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I mean, like you say, bittersweet.
Yeah, yeah.
We've been very blessed to have the extra year.
Yeah.
He was assigned last year, and then the priest at the parish he was going to needed to stay there, so he stayed an extra year at St. Anthony's. So,
and so we're going to miss him terribly, both at St. Anthony's in our community as well as on the radio, because he's been our spiritual advisor for, oh my gosh, about 4 years now, 3 to 4 years, and he's been on our board most recently. And so we're going to miss him because he's always been extremely supportive, was the first pastor that I saw in the area to put links to our radio here on the church webpage. And so, yeah, it's going to be kind of bittersweet.
I think
but
because we're human and we're so selfish that we always think about how that's going to affect us. And, after Mass, he was like, oh, my parents, we're really going to miss coming to St. Anthony's.
Yeah.
And what about the parish, he's moving to? They're going to be sad because their priest
Father
is leaving.
Chris Downey is
the changes.
He hasn't
change is
been
hard,
there.
no matter what end of the conversation you look at.
Yeah. So I asked Father if he's ever been to Holy Family Catholic Church in Copper's Cove. He's like, no, I haven't. And I said, oh, they've got a big old organ. And it's a
we've been there together.
huge organ. Last time I was there, it was for the Cutsmodes a funeral
we
when
went
they're
together.
passing away. Yeah, and it's the Church of the Organ because it's this huge wall of behind the altar of these pipes. And
A big old organ can be a blessing or a curse depending on whether you have somebody there who knows how to use it.
Depends on the big old organ player.
Yeah, exactly.
But he didn't know about that, so I gave him a little taste of what's to come. But yeah, I hear it's a great family parish there, and yeah, we're gonna miss him. And
He needs to learn how to play the bass so he can fill in
for Father Chris.
No,
Yeah, but Father Chris
he's
is
an
just
amazing
moving
musician.
slightly down the road to Killeen, so they're going to have a great network of priests in that area. So, even more reason to try to keep pushing for radio in Central Texas. So,
Amen to that.
yeah. So
Do you, the Father Joseph that's coming, do you know anything about him? Is he an older priest?
He is an
younger
older priest.
He's 62.
62.
and
Well
was
seasoned.
ordained in 77. Is from India. So as soon as
Father Edwin's going to have a compadre.
As soon as Father Patrick goes, you'll have Father Joseph from Killeen. I knew he was going to be a priest that Father Patrick did not want to try to say his last name. so I instantly looked up. I wish I could say it right off my memory. I don't have it in front of me, but yeah, very active. He's been there for about 6 or 7 years himself. So in LaGrange, about 6 years. So I'm sure they're going to miss him as well. But we'll do some announcements once we find all the associate pastor assignments. We're going to do our typically yearly announcement of thanking those that were here and welcoming those that are coming. So,
Well, I want to personally just say a personal thank you to Father Patrick. I know working with him has been really great here at the station, and he also was the person that brought me into the church.
Yes, he did.
So
yeah.
Thanks
So we
be to
all
God.
got some great attachments to Father Patrick, and we went to school together here at Texas A&M. So, he was about a year or two behind Darby and I, and so we've known him for a long time.
Yeah.
Long time.
He came on the Far Out retreat with us. And
Yeah.
went camping with the middle school for a week and brought his fins and his goggles and did some scuba diving at Balmorhea State Park. And, kids love seeing him cannonball off the high dive.
He is
and,
a kid at heart.
You bet.
Oh man, he's got Legos in his office.
Oh, he's all
and
about it.
he eats like one too.
Right, no veggies.
No fan of vegetables.
No vegetables.
Pizza, definitely pizza.
He likes mushrooms though, so he's got one thing on me because I eat like a kid too.
All right, Pam, do you want to get some of this around the parishes stuff going before we run out of time in the first segment?
Oh, yes, you bet.
right.
The show's just not long enough today. I'm just saying. Okay. Around the parishes, this is one I'm very interested in. It's Paul Rimniak. He's going to be returning to St. Joseph Catholic Church to conduct his healing mission this weekend, which includes the Rosary and Stations of the Cross. Paul will offer his healing efforts for all who seek it. Paul will speak at the Masses May 30th and 31st, and the healing services are scheduled for the following evenings, Monday, June 1, 2, and 3 at 7 p.m. in the evening. So does anybody know, are these standalone, or do you need to do all three together? Anybody know about?
I think I got the impression from reading the announcement. I don't know for sure that they're standalone.
They're standalone.
kind of thing. So
Yeah, and-
whatever one you can catch.
Last week when I read a little bit about it, I thought it was really beautiful that he also said that this is not just about physical healing. It could be about emotional healing as well. So any of you that have struggles, especially with addiction or unforgiveness or things like that, in this year of mercy, I really encourage you to come see Paul.
Right. So he's not a priest, so they won't be doing anointing of the sick or anything like this. It's more of a get prayed over
he
kind of
does
thing.
pray,
Yeah.
lay hands. And,
Judy, you have you've
he
seen
was
him
at
before?
St. Anthony's, over 10 years ago, maybe
Wow.
even 15. But I think he came more than once also. Very dynamic speaker. It's time well spent. Really,
Yeah, I mean,
really enjoyed it.
Healing is a charism of the Holy Spirit, and it doesn't have to just be for clergy, and certainly there are lay people who the Lord grants this gift to, and perhaps this is what He's called, Mr. Rimniak to do. So if you're feeling the need for healing, I think even just that physical touch of having someone put their hand on you and pray over you, I'm sure both of you have probably done it with friends, and my friend Amy, when she was struggling with migraine headaches, I had just come back to faith at this point, and the laying on of hands was a big tradition in the church that I grew up in.
Oh,
in the evangelical church, and so I knew that Amy would probably be a little uncomfortable with it. So we were praying together once, which she was already a little uncomfortable with, and I just kind of like put my finger so she couldn't really feel it, and so she didn't even know it, but there was laying on of the finger.
there you go. Well, it freaks people out if you just turn around at the holy water font and sign them or give them a blessing. Rather, it's so unexpected that
I've never seen someone do that.
We had a homily or somewhere. It wasn't an original thought, but
That's
someone
cool.
else challenged us to
That's
to
lovely.
do that. So Keith and I kind of try that
That's
every now
nice.
and then.
I do that with my kids.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. All right. The Framework Young Adults Group will be meeting this Sunday, May 31st for Breakfast Club. They'll attend the 8:30 Mass at St. Joseph's Church and then go out for breakfast at Blackwater Draw. So you can join them for the Mass in the front pews on the tabernacle side of the church. So that's where they'll be gathering for Mass, and then go with them afterwards to breakfast.
All right. And then here over at St. Mary's, they will host a series of conversations on contemporary concerns this summer. This topic will be care of God's creation. The discussion will take place on Wednesday, June the 3rd at 6:30 to 8 in room 201 in the St. Mary Student Center. This meeting will explore current environmental issues and what it means to be a good steward of the world that God has given us. I'd like to see what they're saying about that.
Yeah, this is actually going to be there's going to be a whole series of conversations on contemporary concerns with different topics each week. So take a look at aggiecatholic.org on their calendar each week and check out what the different topics are, because I think this could be a really cool thing to do during the summer to kind of get engaged in some current event topics from a Catholic perspective.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be really cool. All right, St. Anthony's is offering a Bible study on the book of James this summer. So this is a great opportunity to get some Bible study in during the summer. The study offers pearls for wise living by applying the wisdom of James to the present. Interestingly, about the book of James. It's one that Luther actually wanted to kick out of the Bible. So it's kind of cool.
Because it's faith and works.
Right, yeah, exactly. And so for anyone who's struggled to live a truly Christian life, James offers a wealth of practical solutions for handling and even sanctifying everyday circumstances. I know we could all use that. Study group will meet on Wednesdays from 6:30 to 8 p.m. starting June 3rd and ending August 12th. Cost for materials is $25, and you can contact Mike Beauvais at MMBEAUVAIS@AOL.com or call the church office if you're interested.
Okay, over here at St. Joe's, the St. Joseph alumni, attention. We want to know what you think. Tuesday, June 16th, come to a social gathering and brainstorming meeting at 7 p.m. at the Parish Activity Center. The meeting is open to any and all St. Joseph Catholic School alumni. The goal is to socialize and to share ideas about how to rejuvenate the St. Joseph Catholic School Alumni Association. Please call Patty Blazek at 822-6641, extension 12, if you have any questions.
Well, I know that Judy over here has got all kinds of stories from having gone to St. Joe's. Maybe she has some advice.
Well, I'm an equal opportunity offender.
Well, there you go.
Go to St. Anthony's.
Yeah.
Kids go to St. Joseph's.
She told us this morning that she's always she never loses the feeling that she's getting sent to the principal's office. So clearly she warmed that seat
Even
more than once.
Spiritual direction. I have to kind of start off with my head down, going, I don't know.
All right. So what I wanted to do a Vacation Bible School Roundup. I know as this being the last week of school, and we're now people are starting to make their plans for the summer. Wanted to give you the options of for VBS this summer at the parishes around here in Bryan College Station. St. Anthony's will be the first on tap to host VBS. That'll be on June 15th through the 19th from 9 a.m. to noon. The theme is Marvelous Mystery. The Mass comes alive. Registration is now open at saintanthonysfaithformation.org. You can contact Beth Coles at BCOWLES at saintanthonys.org if you can help out with any of the work that needs to be done, faith leader, group leaders, music, snacks, games, etc. But I think that's going to be a really fun VBS. Awesome. It's really going to engage people. Yeah. Oh, St. Anthony is spelled out SAINT. All right.
Okay, well, I'm excited about this one because I have a daughter going to it. So attention middle school youth, Camp Basic, June 15th through 19th. Basic is an annual middle school week where the youth entering 7th and 8th grade get to learn about their faith, build new friendships, and have a fantastic time participating in fun-filled activities. Each day is filled with different events, from a water field day to a retreat to a trip to Splashtown, time doing service projects, and a visit to Horseshoe Junction. Don't know what that is exactly. Price is $170 and it includes all the week's activities, lunches each day, a T-shirt, and transportation to all camp events. To register,
Go to collaborativecatholics.org. I don't know.
Or Alyssa Trutter at collaborativecatholics.org if you have questions.
All right. St. Joseph's will be hosting their Vacation Bible School on June 21st through the 25th. The theme is Everest, Conquering Challenges with God's Mighty Power, and will be held at the elementary school campus from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. for grades pre-K, so that's 4-year-olds through 5th grade. Registration form is on the church website at www.stjosephbcs.org. So this is one of those evening ones, which gives you the opportunity to go out to eat with your spouse while your kiddos are at VBS. So that'll be nice.
There you go. Well, this year's VBS at St. Thomas Aquinas will be Cat Chat's Catholic program called A Wilderness Adventure Through the Sacraments. The kids will have time in prayer and song and will learn about their faith and the church's 7 sacraments while having tons of fun. VBS will be for children who are entering the grades pre-K 4-year-olds to 5th grade. Students in grades 6 through 12 may volunteer to help at VBS. All youth 7 through 12 are invited to attend VBS 2 TOO, which will begin with volunteering at VBS in the morning, followed by their own youth program afterwards, including lunch from 11:30 to 2. Registration for VBS and VBS TOO is on WeShare and is $15 per student for parishioners and $20 for non-parishioners.
All right. Well, and then WeShare is, you can get a link off of St. Thomas Aquinas' website. That's how you get on there.
STABCS.org.
That is correct. All right. Well, that's what we got for what's going on around the parishes. If you missed any of it, you can check out the Roundup website page on redcradio.org. We're going to be going to a break, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Howdy, and we are back. This is RED-C Roundup. I'm your host, Megan Silas. I have Pam Marvin here co-hosting with me today, and we also have Judy Como in the studio. We do not have an interview today. We're going to just chat it up here in the studio.
We kind of do, but we're going to reverse situation a little bit, and I'm going to get to do the interviewing of Megan.
Well, which is sort of apropos, because when the first show we had of RED-C Roundup, we did our conversion stories,
That's right.
you and I, and so you interviewed me first, and then I interviewed you about your conversion story, and I took way more time than I gave to you, so apologize for that.
But while you were gone last week, or rather when I did the show last week, Dennis told me you had a really cool thing happen about a woman who had listened to that very first show.
Yeah, I did.
Well, why don't you tell us that story? Because I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was at the park, and I was with Amy, and she saw this woman come into the park, and she's like, "Oh, I know that woman. She's a part of the homeschool group." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And anyway, so at one point we go over and we start chatting, and she mentioned that she had not too long ago gone to St. Thomas Aquinas to check it out. She's not Catholic, and she's telling a story of how she just felt like she wanted to check out a Catholic Mass around Christmas time, and so she happened to be driving by right when Mass started and everything like that. So we started chatting a little more, and anyway, I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't introduced myself. Hi, I'm Megan Silas," and she's like, "Megan Silas? From the radio?" I was like,
Wow.
Yeah. She's like, "Oh, well, I listened to your show. I've started listening to Catholic radio a couple years ago, and it wasn't long after I started listening that your show started, and so she said, I remember hearing about your conversion story, and so she remembered details from it, and then she asked if she could listen to it again. And so I gave her the link to our YouTube page. And so, yeah, it's really awesome to know that there are folks out there who, are listening. And
Megan and I have often joked, there's only 5 people listening to us, but, but we know that's not true.
If we just went on who called in, we would definitely have a sense of desperation about how many people are listening.
Hint, someone call, somewhere.
Well, you don't have to call, but if you want to, 85-LOVE-RED-C is the way to do it. But anyway, it was really wonderful. And she is making her way out of Protestantism, and I think at this point is trying to feel her way between maybe Orthodox faith and the Catholic faith, going all the way. And
That's
so,
awesome.
I keep her in my prayers, and it really is a blessing to know that, someone having heard my conversion story had an impact on them. So.
That's so awesome. Well, Megan, as you and I were talking about doing this show today, I just kept thinking, oh man, I can't wait to pick your brain about some of your most interesting moments, most memorable moments, above from the different shows. Maybe, I don't necessarily want to say like your favorite shows, because I know they're all pretty cool, but the ones that just really stand out to you the most. Top three.
Well, I cannot think about the shows that I've done without one in particular sticking out. I did a show with Sister Debbie Lee from the Apostles of the Interior Life here at St. Mary's about spiritual friendship. And that's something that's very near and dear to my heart. I feel like friendship is something so deep and so profound, at least it can be, if we seek it out and allow it to be. And I think also could be really, in my mind, the answer to a lot of the ills that are happening in our culture today. I think we've lost sight of what it means to truly love in a way that's totally self-sacrificing and sets aside. The culture is so like sexually saturated, right? So that it's gotten to the point where even deep, close friendships between same-sex individuals could come called into question, because everyone just assumes if you are really deeply emotionally bonded to somebody that there's something up, right? That goes beyond just, a real emotional bond. And so I loved that talk. And honestly, anytime I got to talk with the Apostles of the Interior Life sisters, I did another one with Sister Debbie Lee about... what was that one?
Holy Leisure.
No, Holy Leisure was actually with Sister.
Okay.
Yeah, Elena. No, it wasn't Elena. Well, it was I forget her name at the moment, but yeah, it might have been Elena. And then I did another one with Sister Debbie as well. I'm trying to remember what that one was about. Oh, discernment. Anyway, so those women are just so well read. And just you can tell that they have a contemplative aspect to their mission as sisters geared towards spiritual direction. And so
Apostles of the Interior Life.
That is their main focus of their work is a spiritual direction.
Have, right?
Yeah. So those really stand out to me as like ones that I get excited about. And then also anytime that Mike Beauvais comes in, and I'm so excited that now he's going to be one of the hosts here on the rotation. I don't know if have we actually announced that? We have. Okay. But we'll just say it again. Now that I'm leaving, and instead of having me as the regular host, there's going to be 4 hosts that are going to rotate. So you, Pam, and you, Judy, are 2 of those hosts. And then the male counterparts to you will be Jean Wilhelm and Mike Beauvais. And
I'm really excited because I've been looking at the guest lineup. And part of the beauty of having the 4 different guests, as Dennis said too, is that we come from different parts of our Catholic community. So we're going to have such a really abundance. Like for me, it was tough to come up with something in my mindset every single week throughout the weeks. And that was one of the reasons I said, I just can't do it every single week because I didn't have that kind of pool. But between the 4 of us, it's going to be a really great and dynamic, diverse interviews from around the community. So I'm excited about that.
I mean, I think not only do you put different parts of the community, but you both have very different personalities, very different perspectives, come from different experiences within the Catholic faith. So I think that that variety there is going to be great, and I think going to be a blessing for those who maybe aren't too keen on listening to my voice once a week. But,
no reflection on that. It's a springboard into things bigger and better.
But I think it'll be wonderful. It'll be great. So,
okay, so what about maybe one of the shows that made were those the ones that made the biggest personal impact?
Well, when I think about them,
or long time impact,
it's not so much a matter of impact as much as like I just enjoyed the heck out of it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, when it comes to doing interviews or whatever, there's some that flow more easily than others, right? And when the topic aligns with a passion that you have, that's something that brings you joy, it's so easy. And I know that so many times I've just gotten to the end of the interview and been like, man, I wish I had a whole other, 45 minutes or more to talk about this. And I don't know, like always, if it comes across to the people who are listening, how much I enjoy myself and what I'm doing. And so
I think so. I do think so.
It's the sort of deal where, we joke about who's listening, how many people are listening. I don't care if anybody's listening. I'm just happy to be here having the conversation, right?
It's all about you.
Well, yeah, exactly. It really is in the end all about me. So, but it's been such a blessing to just be, talk to all these people. And I have to say, like, just have been so readily accepted into the Catholic community here. I mean, I've only been Catholic, officially for 3 years, and to know that I can go to like pretty much any parish around this region and know people and have them be truly happy to see me. I mean, that's so beautiful and wonderful, really cool. And such a testament to the community that we have here.
Well, and to you too, though, Megan, because you are kind of a dynamic spirit too. And not so lovable. No, I'm just kidding. But no, really, you've been active and involved and gotten to know a lot of people on a really rapid basis, and you've blessed us all. You really
Your
have.
passion is so infectious.
It is. Thanks be to God.
When Barbara was here, we were talking about the rally, religious freedom rally.
Yeah. That's when I first met you. Yeah.
Oh, I think that was the first time you met her because I introduced you.
Oh, that's right.
You had a Blessed Mother medal on,
right.
And I was like, she's in RCIA, and Barbara said, "Oh, Mary, wow, And you said, "Well, when I go into something, I go wholeheartedly." And
yeah, that is true. I was just texting with a friend, my friend Heidi Dixon this morning. She was, wishing me luck, and well, not really wishing me luck. She was telling me she was praying for me, which is way better than wishing me luck. But I was saying that that I was kind of emotional about things, and I was hoping I wasn't going to lose it, and just saying like I feel like I wish my emotions didn't have to be like a full body experience, and and so just kind of and I even said with me it's all or nothing. It's I'm all in all the time. So
I want to keep asking you some more questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Because when I was kind of getting at one of them and see if I could draw it out of you, but one that made a lasting impression on you, I believe. Here I'm putting words in your mouth.
That's all right. I'll contradict you if you're wrong. I have no problem with that.
When you started wearing the mantilla after one of your shows, you got very convicted about mantillas and started wearing one.
Well, interestingly, actually, I was a bit feeling drawn towards it prior to the show. So that was kind of the impetus to do the show, because I really did feel like there was a lot of misunderstanding out there about why women were wearing head coverings at Mass, and it's something that has, I think, grown a little bit over the past 5 years or so, that it's becoming more common.
Rapid speed in this last 6 to 8 months even.
Well, I really wanted to hear from somebody who was well-versed in the sort of the theology behind why women do this. And I think, coming at it from a person who did not grow up Catholic and did not have, an experience of having, I think sometimes there were some women that maybe had a bad taste in their mouth, shall we say, about the history of wearing it, because it had gone from what it truly was about to just they saw it maybe as a symbol of being
subservient.
Yeah, subservient, or that it was like their symbol that they needed to just be there and be
unworthy
quiet. And everything. And so to hear it talked about in regards to, it's actually the complete opposite of being unworthy. basically, if you think about what is veiled at Mass, think about that for a moment. What has a veil? It's
the chalice.
The chalice. It's the tabernacle. It is the most holy things in Mass that are veiled. And so to wear a veil as a woman is not at all something that is keeping you down. It actually is an expression of the great honor that God has given you, that women are able to participate in creation in a way that is quite elevated. And so for me, I think talking to her and really getting a deeper grasp of why one would wear it, because, anybody who knows me knows I'm not just the stereotype, which would be like, I think the stereotype was that people who wore a veil were like either older women or like really kind of
younger, pious,
quiet,
women.
very quiet,
mousy
sort of
even,
mousy even women, or even like sometimes people took it as that you're trying to be holier than thou, like like you wanted to say that.
See, I know that I have to say that's one of the reasons I have not committed to one. I think it's lovely too. I'm 100% supporting of it, but it's kind of a distraction,
right? Well, and I think that ends up becoming if you're so distracted by wearing it.
No. By seeing people that have them.
No. Oh, you're distracted by it. Oh, so you're looking at that.
Yeah,
so,
I'm
okay.
looking at that.
Well, that's
so
interesting.
Pretty. That's really not. Oh, yeah. Sorry, got to get back to.
Okay, well, maybe if you were wearing it, you'd be less looking around, Pam.
That's a calling. I felt the same way when I decided, had prayed about a scapular.
Yeah,
starting to wear that too, but and not to take away from the lovely things that you were saying, but obviously as a child you never had a Kleenex bobby pinned on your head.
No, but I heard about it.
Intentionally left yours at home.
I've heard it. So, like I said, I don't have that sort of
I
baggage.
have two sisters, and in the cedar chest were the mantillas, and we'd have to go and get one, and we had two flat ones and one with these crowny things, looked like a crown, and you did not want the crown one, so you leave that one at home, and when you get to church, because you thought you were so smart, I left mine at home, my mom would pin a Kleenex on my head.
That is so funny.
It would have some lipstick on it. double use mantilla
There
lipstick.
you go.
Oh my.
Well, the funny thing is that I, for some reason, just tend to make my own way in things, and so I do wear it now at Mass, but I don't wear it the way most people do. So because I have my own thought process on it. Basically,
she wears it backwards.
No. The deal is that no, my understanding, what I felt called to as far as wearing it was that whenever Christ is unveiled, I will be veiled. So I always wear it in Adoration Chapel when the sacrament is exposed. And then during Mass, I do not put it on until we kneel for the consecration. And I wear it throughout the consecration. And until Christ is reposed back in the tabernacle, I keep it on. And then once they repose him in the tabernacle, then I take it off.
So, that does make sense to me because it's much less distracting.
It is less distracting, I think. And then also it came out of, sometimes I get called up to lector when I'm at daily Mass, and I felt that it would be very distracting for me to be wearing it while I was lecturing, and so I didn't want to wear it during that time. So, but it was really more the symbolism of when he is that exposed to me, I want to show my expression of understanding of how profound that moment is, that Christ would be that just exposed, like I said, and this is my way of honoring that. So
that's pretty cool. Well, okay, I would be remiss because I missed one of the interviews I really wanted to listen to because I usually am traveling and can't really listen to the whole show. But it was the Greg Gause interview. How did that go?
Oh, that was good. For those of you who aren't familiar with who Professor Greg Gause is, he is the head of Middle Eastern Studies over at the Bush School. And we had a really great conversation about the situation in the Middle East and some of the history there. And that was really interesting. And he had a lot to say. And I can't really encapsulate what
Sure.
exactly that discussion was right now. But I would encourage you, if you want to get some basic information about how things developed, how we've gotten to where we are with things in the Middle East, look it up on YouTube, because he had a lot to say, and it was very interesting.
If people go to our website, redcradio.org, and scan down to the right side, click on the YouTube, and it'll get straight to our YouTube channel, which is got every Red Sea Catholic radio show that we've recorded, as well as Mystery of Parenthood shows, as well as all our Catholic Community Showcase.
Okay, so tell us
segments.
that if I go to redcradio.org and look for what?
Scan down to the right side of the page in the lower part, and it says YouTube. It's just a logo.
Is it the icon or it is the
it's
logo?
It's an icon of YouTube, and you can click on it. It'll go to our YouTube channel.
Or if you go straight to YouTube, you could just type in Red Sea Catholic Radio, and it'll get to your page. And if you like the page, the Red Sea Catholic Radio page on YouTube, when we post new shows, it'll notify you. It'll give you an email to let you know.
Yeah. So the one recording that we did recently on a PSA is the only one word to know is Red Sea Radio, and that's when Megan goes,
oh, then I say it's more than one word, Dennis.
well, no, you squash it all together. RED-C RADIO.
Yeah.
So it's redcradio.org is our website.
That's right. Yeah. Well, speaking of Bush School people, one of my favorites that I've done over the year was the one with Jim Olson.
Oh yeah, that was a two-parter too.
It
right?
was, because we did it on lying,
Yeah,
'cause
that's
It was
interesting.
fascinating, and just listening to his background and
Right.
the way things are going.
I remember, what's funny about that show, that now that I think about that, if you remember on the first show, the one that you did live, because the second one was recorded.
Right.
The one you did live, I called in and asked a question, right?
Yeah, you did.
Well, when I called you in, I don't think I told you what I was doing at the moment when I called you.
no.
I was
She
actually
was lying.
No, I wasn't lying. I was withholding information, perhaps. But I was outside at that moment. I was outside in the backyard of my home, working on my Mary garden.
Aw,
So yeah,
that was kind of cute.
that was cool. I was
that was
hauling.
one of my
I was
favorites.
breaking rock and hauling dirt and all this. I was a mess. But
Doing summer things.
that's why you
Well,
love
it-
radio.
The thing that I've known the Olsons for a few years now, but that show really just brought home to me what amazing patriots they really are, and how much they love the United States of America. And I just want to say thank you to them in a public way, because they've really served our country well. And we forget oftentimes about the people in the Secret Service, basically. Not
It's
Secret Service.
true.
What do you call it?
Clandestine
Yeah,
services.
there you go.
Well, it's interesting, just coming off of Memorial Day, and, where we're honoring those who've given their lives for the defense of our nation. And those folks who are in these clandestine services, they don't get the public sort of acclaim that you do.
Recognition, yeah.
Because a lot of times they can't even say that someone's passed away or whatever, that's been, undercover or whatever. So it's good. It's good to remember them.
I do have a text message in from one of our listeners, and it happens to be the best half of the Red Sea Catholic Radio duo, Darby. Just texted in, said, "Thanks, Megan, for all you've done. We will truly miss you and expect you to listen and call in."
Oh, that's good. Okay, she's laid down the gauntlet now.
Yeah.
So I've complained about people
we
not
ask
calling.
you, we
so
expect you.
Yeah. All right. Well, all right then.
It is a toll-free call.
That is true. But I suppose when it's cell phones now, it's all none of it matters, right? There's no tolls to.
My
worry
daughter
about.
Marion texted a recording of us talking, said, "Go mom." So
Oh,
she's listening on the way to
great.
school. Caldwell went to school late today. So
Y'all are so popular.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So all right. Well, do you
Come
have
on,
any?
Pam.
Do you have any other questions, or you want to talk about some current event stuff?
Well, you still, I still want to hear
She
Top
really,
thing.
I get the impression that she's just going to keep asking me questions until I really just break down and cry.
No,
oh,
no,
those
no.
are the trumpets. Dennis is playing the trumpets in the sky. Let's hear it.
It's working on it.
It's working. All right, well, if you hear strange noise. Oh, there we go.
it sounded more like a bassoon.
But can you imagine, if you're just standing outside and this starts happening really loudly?
Yeah, we were talking. Did you get some background on this yet? Because we were talking about this before the show.
Well, the
there's
scientists
one.
aren't sure what it is. I mean, they think it may be some geological event where they're shifting ground or something like that. But I'm I'm thinking if that's heard everywhere around the world, it's time.
The listeners should see our faces as of wide eyes and.
All I know is the dog in the video is kind of freaking out. So
Yeah, well,
he's kind of paying attention.
I am not ruling out supernatural causes there. It could be the warm up. The celestial brass section could be
don't
warming
know.
up.
We just
we
don't
do not
know.
know the day and the hour, but we wait and long for it.
How about some advice for us?
For advice for the new host,
Yeah,
is that
that'd
it?
be great.
Okay, well, I would say the advice I would give is always rooted in prayer. Start in prayer. And even though we've joked about it, it's not about you. It's about what the Lord wants to do through you. Pick things that you're interested in. Talking about stuff that you're interested in makes it a lot easier. And, don't be afraid to be a little irreverent every now and then.
I think Judy's cornered that market.
I'm on a microphone a whole lot in my life, and I think I'm
Yeah.
done okay with that. Thanks be to God.
Because I think if you have the opportunity every now and then to make somebody spit out their coffee, that you've done well.
Oh,
You've
hey,
done well.
I have to say it's near and dear to my heart. The laughter part. You hear a lot of us talking. I mean, there's even books now, the Catholic saints that were really had a sense of humor and stuff. And so, I think we have taken ourselves too seriously. That's one of the reasons I'm in love with Judy Como is because we laugh all the time. It's a joyfulness, which I think we need to bring more into our Catholic faith. So I think that's excellent advice, Megan. I really do.
Absolutely. And I'll say this. If you come to the show in the morning and you just don't feel like doing it, I guarantee you by the time you're done, you will be so happy that you were here.
That happens.
I don't have
a lot of it. Different.
I don't have
aspects
issue
for
with
us.
that. Is all the prep work sometimes. I'm like, I get up at 5:30. I forgot to do it the night before.
Oh, you have to do stuff before you get here?
you do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, I don't just sort of download into my brain computer all the bulletins for all the places.
Your pedestal is crumbling.
Yeah, I do actually have to look it up. And I was, I posted on Facebook yesterday that doing my last prep for this show
That's what
was
got me to come here
bittersweet.
today.
Yeah, well, I will admit I started crying doing the prep for the show, and I was like, "Oh goodness, this is not going to go well
Megan,
tomorrow."
Just to know, you can do all the prep for me you want.
Yeah,
I'll probably be crying when I'm doing lunch.
you noticed that when I posted it, it was a bittersweet moment. The bitter comes from the fact that I'm very sad to be leaving. The sweet comes from the fact that I don't have to do it anymore. Because that is it is a little bit. It can be tedious, but I will say this: that you do when you do it, and especially since I was doing it pretty much every week, you do feel very engaged in the community.
Sure.
Like people, would know that if they wanted to know something that was going on, they didn't have to look it up. They could just ask me because I'd already done the looking up. So.
Well, I am hoping, though, we also get to a point where a lot that's coming into the radio station will be able to, like, when people are sending dentist notifications, they want these announcements here and there, and they're emailing the Gmail. I think, no, do we have it? We have an account.
Yeah, RED-C Roundup at it's Roundup at RED-CRadio.org.
Right.
So
My hope
Roundup
is-
at RED-CRadio.org, which I now have to stop having come directly to my Gmail account and have to
Right.
disseminate to y'all.
There you go.
But yeah, if I would have liked, and this didn't happen, but maybe y'all can promote it going forward. I would love for people to email Roundup at RED-CRadio.org with show ideas, or even if someone would like to be on the show,
Right.
do they have something that they're, the Holy Spirit is calling them to talk about and they need a forum. I would love for that to happen
Well,
because
we're hoping to promote that.
Yeah.
I mean, the first way to do that, I think, is just have it run in the bulletins. We'll be doing that.
wow, Mike Beauvais is here. Come in, Mike. Come in. This is exciting. I'm so thrilled to have y'all here. Welcome.
A special guest appearance by
I know.
Beauvais.
Well, I just came because I heard my name on the radio. No,
You wanted to make sure that no one was talking smack about you.
exactly.
Well, if you heard it earlier, I mentioned it because I said those are some of my favorite shows when I get to sit down and chat it up with Mike.
Probably because you have the opportunity to make fun of me. But
Well, no, I hardly ever do that, Mike. But so you are hosting next week, correct?
yes, and I have asked Deacon Dan Lupo, who is one of the directors of the formation for the diaconate and for the Diocese of Austin, to come talk to us a little bit about that.
Great. Well, that's exciting. So you yourself are a diaconate candidate who is far along in the process, and you'll get to give your own personal sort of experience with that as well.
Well, I hope to allow Deacon Dan to do most of the talking. And,
well, you've been known to put in your 2 cents every now and then too, Mike.
Well, usually the problem isn't getting me to start talking. It's usually getting me to stop.
Right.
But
well, you'll have to learn now. You're going to be the host, so you got to learn to draw it out of the other people.
well, listening to Megan has been a learning experience and how to do that properly. So hopefully I've picked up some pointers.
Well, I'm glad that it was how to do it properly. I was waiting for the pitfalls to avoid or something, but yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing you as the host, and I'm actually really looking forward to you having to do the Around the Parishes section.
Well, that I've checked out some of the bulletins online to see, what all is out there, and it's going to be interesting, learning how to put this in a format where
Right.
it works. So,
Well, all my notes are online, so feel free to use them whenever you want. You can just, look for the format. So anyway, but thank you so much for coming, Mike. It's so exciting to see you.
well, I didn't want to miss your last show, but I figure that if nothing else, we will have to ask you back as a guest every once in a while.
Well, I would love to. You never know what I might talk about. I can't make any commitments to June 16th, but maybe sometime later in the summer. All right. So, oh my goodness, there's Jean. Hi, Jean. It is a veritable party here in the studio. I don't think we're going to get to current events here today. I think we're just going to have fun. So,
Hello, I bet you recognize my voice.
yes, yeah, the man of many spots here on RED-C Radio. So we now currently have every host that will be taking over the reins of RED-C Radio. Jean, welcome.
Thank you.
What are you looking forward to as far as stepping into the host chair on a regular basis?
I guess surviving.
Survive? Are you seriously concerned that might not happen?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just being me.
So what if you were to say what your perspective that you're going to bring to the show is, what would it be? Because we know that Judy's bringing irreverence.
Well, I understand that.
Mike is bringing erudition, and Pam is bringing a sweet spirituality. So what is your niche?
My niche really is bringing things to the light that people can do to improve their Christian walk as a Catholic.
Practicality. All right.
Well, I think it's practicality. Others may not see it that way.
All right. Well, I've officially labeled you all, and now you have to live up to your labels. So, Judy, yours will be the easiest one to live up to, clearly.
I'm going to have to check a dictionary what erudition is.
Come on.
It has the first 3 letters are ERR, right?
Come on, Mr. Patristic
good at that.
Theology. You could take it. All right. Well, all right. We've got like a minute and a half left. So, what do you want to finish with this party here? I've asked questions now. Now you can let her fly. What do you want to? Last minute and a half.
I would like to know how your time working with RED-C Catholic Radio has impacted your life and how you plan to bring that knowledge forward in the future.
Okay, that would be an error. You don't ask a question that big right before when you have 1 minute left in the show.
My goal is to make you cry full out on the air before the show ends. So go.
Well, yeah, it's... Dang it, actually.
We love you, Megan, and we've appreciated all you've done. And the Holy Spirit definitely did bring you to us. When you showed up in this office, you kind of freaked me out. You're like, here I am. What can I do? And how fast can I do it? And I'm like, I don't know what to do with volunteers because I didn't even know what to do with the station, much less with volunteers that are now beating down my door and asking to help. And you did in a big way. You've never been afraid to tell me where I've screwed up. Which
He
is
loves
always,
to say that.
which is great. I needed that. And you've always been full of big ideas and sometimes bigger than what I could even fulfill, but just grand ideas that are about spreading the faith and about making everything work here on the show.
Well, I also want to say I am a huge and tremendous providential person, and I know that God has something very beautiful and amazing in store for you. Your talents and gifts just go beyond this room and this community, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do in Houston. On a personal note, I will miss you very much, and I know we'll stay in touch, but I know God's got something beautiful planned for you right around the corner, Megan, and we'll be praying for you.
Well, thank you, and it has been a wonderful and amazing experience, and I hope that Holy Spirit will call some more people to come in and be part of this great crew. And, well, next week, tune in to listen to Mike, and until then, when choosing between the values of heaven and the world,
Always round up.
We love you, Megan. Thank
God
you
bless.
for all you've done.